What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me while I do my 10,000 steps today. Man, the dating scene just keep getting worse, it look like. At least for the ladies. It don't seem to be a whole lot of complaining on the men's side. Not right now, anyway. There's been complaints on the men's side, but not right now. And I see it's because the men continue to simply choose not to date. The men are simply opting out of the whole dating scene. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I seen a clip from a young lady. She went by a Kendra G singles event in Philly. Now, she said she was on a date. She wasn't there for the event. She just happened to be going by there. She was on a date, and she told her date that she wanted to meet, Kendra. I don't know how true that is, because it just seems like an odd thing to want to do. You on a date and you just happen to go by where you knew the singles event was going to be. And you decide not only are you going to go inside and look around, but you want to meet Kendra and stuff. It just, I don't know. But she says she goes in and Kendra's not there. I guess the receptionist told her that Kendra didn't come. I don't know why that would be, honestly, because she does a bit of posting on social media, the different things that she be doing, and she usually is there. So I don't know why she will hold this event and not be there. It could be because of the turnout, which we about to get into. But according to her, she talked to the receptionist, and they said that only 2 men showed up. All right. Now, you guys, I made a video before about men not showing up for singles events. I made a video before about men no longer approaching women, and I got a lot of pushback in the comments, and I believe it was mostly from women, just basically in denial about the fact that this is happening. Well, some were. Others weren't so much in denial, but were basically blaming men for why this is happening. And, I disagree with that, because if the men aren't showing up to the events to meet you, then that means that it is something that is undesirable about you. There's something about the dating market on the side of the women that has become so much of a turnoff to where men don't even want to show up. So she says only 2 men showed up for this event. And I really do believe that, because if you look at any of the clips from Kendra's show, why would you show up to one of her singles events, honestly? And this isn't me just trying to go in on anybody. This isn't me trying to drag anybody. I'm just speaking generally of what you typically see in a Kendra clip. So you see a Kendra clip, it's a lot of times the same type of women. You get a lot of single moms. In fact, I think that is like 95% of who her audience is. They're single moms. Many of them are overweight. Many of them have a ton of tats, a ton of piercings, masculine energy on 1,000. I mean, some of these things, they've been really bad. It was a woman on before. I seen a clip of her recently. I don't know how long ago this was, but the clip seemed recent. She had just had a baby 3 months ago, and she's already on there looking for a man. She just popped out a kid for another dude 3 months ago, and she on there looking for a man. So just based on stuff like that, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure out why men really aren't interested in showing up to these events, because that's what you have to choose from. The women, I'm not going to say they're not good quality women, but the women, for the expectations that they have of the man, what they're bringing doesn't match. I'll say that sounds a lot better than saying that they're undeserving or not good quality, whatever. It's just that their standards don't reflect in what they're presenting. You know, you have uh, all the women on there, and you know, oftentimes I'm really surprised by how some of those women really portray themselves on there, because they go on there and Kendra is always sharp. She's always very polished. You know, hair be sharp, nails be sharp. You know, her outfit be on point. She keeps herself in shape. In fact, recently she said she lost 20 pounds. So she already wasn't in bad shape as it is, and then she went and trimmed up even more. So you're coming on a show where the woman is on there and she's very polished, and you seem to feel no sort of embarrassment about presenting yourself not just to the men but before another woman, you know, just busted down. You know, they be wearing stuff that they really shouldn't. They be wearing bonnets and stuff. And these women are on here oftentimes expecting the man to be the top echelon of man. And we know what that is. It's all the sixes, you know, 6 inches, 6 feet, you know, 6-figure income. Good morning to you. And I mean, that's cool to want that, but you got to be reasonable about, are you capable of attracting that? You, in your everyday life, if you never ever attract that sort of guy, why would you think that that sort of guy is going to magically slide in your DMs because you showed up looking just super sloppy on some online dating show? So apparently, according to the woman, some high roller guy showed up in there. He pulled up in I guess a Bentley. He was 6 feet. You know, he was sharp, and he rolled up in there, didn't like what he saw, and rolled out. But he got all the attention from all the women there because he fit into the parameters of what they all want. So he really could have showed up in there and just cleaned up. He could have got everybody's number if he wanted, but apparently he wasn't interested in what he saw there. I'm surprised that he even went there, because if it's a guy that's like that, why even go to something like that looking for prospects? But maybe he was just nosy, like the woman said she was, the woman who was supposedly there on a date and not there for the event, who was just being nosy. That's what she said was her reason. She was there to be nosy. Again, I don't know if I quite believe that or not, you know, that you were just out on a date. I mean, it's possible, all right? I'm not gonna sit here and say it's impossible. It is possible that that's what happened, but I'm a little doubtful that you were out on a date and you just happened to be over in the area where that was and decided to slide in there and be nosy. If you went to that event and the turnout was what it was, I can understand not wanting to admit that you, especially if you got to pay to attend that event, I can understand not wanting to admit that you went and paid to go to an event. And when you get there and you talk to the receptionist, she talking about only 2 men show up. And the one guy who shows up there, you know, is not somebody that's really even gonna mess with you. So why is this happening to where men aren't showing up to the events? Well, your average guy is just that, your average guy. Your average guy does not fit into the very strict standards that the women have for the man that they want. And they oftentimes have much higher standards for the man than they have for themselves. So they want a guy that's fit when they're, you know, overweight. They want a guy that's making money when they're on Section 8 and whatnot. You know, they want the guy to be God-fearing and charming, and you know, they want him to be in touch with his feelings, yet, you know, an alpha. I mean, it be like build a dude, man. And the type of guy that they want, he just really doesn't exist. They be having a long list of like 20 things that the guy has to be in order just to date some struggling, overweight, masculine acting single mom. And it just doesn't work. So if you're your average guy and you know you don't fit into their very strict parameters that they repeat over and over and over, they're not going to bend on, they're not going to settle, then you're not going to even bother going to one of these events. It would be totally a waste of money for you. You know, so this is why the men are hearing you, ladies. You say men don't listen, but the men are hearing you loud and clear on this. You say you only want to date a certain type of guy and you are not going to settle. So the men are hearing that and they're responding in kind. They're like, okay, obviously I fit into the type of dude that she claims she's not going to settle for. So why would I even bother going just to strike out? And isn't it crazy how you got some of the lowest of the low? We talking about bottom shelf chicks talking about they're not gonna settle for average men. That's wild to me. Like, it be women, and I see this all the time. It be women that are way below average, all right, in the looks department, in the weight department, in the earning department. They got multiple kids by multiple men. I mean, these are below average, well below average women, and they still think they're settling for the average man, even though the average man is several rungs above them, what they even actually qualify for. They still somehow convince themselves that they deserve the same top percent man that the chick who didn't go and make poor decisions, qualifies for. I don't know how you can be in your 40s, multiple kids by multiple men, overweight, a bunch of tats, a bunch of piercings, combative in nature, and you think that you're gonna get the same type of man that some younger, more feminine, in better shape woman with no kids is also after. It's just not gonna work. But that's where we're at. So the Kendra G event, it doesn't look like it was quite a success. Shout outs to her though, because she really been killing it in terms of her show. Clips of her show are all around. Like, it's not difficult to find them. You will come in contact with something of hers easily, because they're really out there. We got a lot of flying happening. I think this is like the second or possibly third plane that's flown over me in just the 12 minutes I've been sitting here. So yeah, but I'm gonna leave it there, y'all. I'm gonna get back to doing my stepping. I appreciate y'all connecting with me. Thumbs up this video, subscribe if you haven't. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Peace.